So we're gonna put these here. We don't have a box for those. We will put them in on top of these other ones when we're done. Okay. So now we are at a referendum results. That would be for the grand total of all the ballots. Set that aside and get a copy of that.
Hey, David, do you mind reading the totals by warrant?
I'm sorry, we don't have time for that right now, but you will get a copy of that. These are the ballot referendum tally totals. More tally totals. More tally totals. Blank tally totals. Okay, this is marked auxiliary absentee ballots. And it has tally sheet on top. And then the number of ballots.
What does auxiliary absentee ballots mean? Does that mean they were hand delivered or?
I really have never heard that term before.
There were some
Does the
that,
clerk
there
know?
were some that were on the ballot, on the vault floor on Wednesday morning.
Say what?
There were some ballots on the vault floor on Wednesday morning in a box,
After the counting had been completed?
absentee ballots.
No, the counting was not completed by Wednesday morning because there were so many things to count. And I know that Langley had been in charge of taking care of some of these.
Who was in charge of the whole business though? Is that person, can they tell us what?
Sam was in charge of everything, and Langley, as deputy clerk, had been in
Was the
charge.
clerk?
Can you clarify exactly what it was that you were in charge of? I think it was
Registrar of
absentee-
voters.
And absentee ballots that came in early.
I cast the ballots on election day.
Okay. And some of them were not found on election day, and Langley found the rest of them, I believe, if I have this correct, please correct me if I don't, on Wednesday morning and brought them to Sam to say, oh, these didn't get counted. So they were counted on Wednesday morning
Okay,
before
so
all
those
the
are the
totals.
auxiliary absentee ballots?
Yeah, there's some arcane provision that Sam knows about.
Okay. Is Sam here? No.
She is,
She was right out there.
yeah, working on things outside.
So the ballots that were on the floor on
Were
Wednesday
counted.
morning are now counted as the auxiliary absentee
Yes,
ballots?
they were
Do
counted
we
and
know
they,
that they were all absentee?
Yeah, they were all absent, they were all sealed up, they had already been processed.
Oh,
They're in CVR, they were already, they were ready to be cast. It's just that they, in the fray on election day, they didn't.
Was the
we
state ballot-
passed a bunch the night before election day. Right? Remember we
can
did?
I ask one more question? I will stop. Were the state ballots in with the town referenda ballots the next morning? Or had the state ballots already been sent off?
No, these were unopened absentee ballots.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Thank you, Sarah.
Can I ask a question? David, can I ask a question?
Certainly.
Since Langley was equal to Samantha in terms of the election, weren't you?
No, she's the warden.
You were the warden, and what were you?
No, I'm deputy town clerk and the registrar of voters.
Okay, so registrar of voters. So I would presume there should be two people with ballots all the time. And Langley being second most senior election person, was Langley here for all the counting and tallying and posting of results?
No.
Why not?
I was running the office all day Wednesday. And the counting was going on in here.
and there were multiple people doing.
Yeah, but what time did the office close?
I went home about 6. It closes at 6, anyway. Let
So
David
somebody, there
concentrate.
should have been 2 people with ballots all the time.
Bruce,
Did that?
on Tuesday evening, after the polls closed, the election volunteers and Peggy was here.
I came in on Wednesday.
Okay, you came on a Wednesday. Were you here Tuesday night? So as I recall, Tuesday, when the polls closed, the election volunteers and counters paired up and started doing the counting of ballots. And to the best of my knowledge, some of you stayed until at least 1:30 or 2 in the morning.
Like 2:30, 3.
Yeah, 2:30 and,
Quarter to
yeah,
3,
it was
something like
quarter to
that.
3 in the morning. So it went on all night long, and people were exhausted. And at that point, they needed to go home and get some sleep, and I think you had to go to work the next morning in a few hours. So then, on Wednesday, at that point, Sam said, we all need to go home and get some sleep. Everything was locked into the vault. And then more volunteers, including Peggy, came on Wednesday morning to complete the counting so that we could get everything done.
So when did the counting get completed?
At some point on Wednesday, I'm not sure when.
About?
I have no idea, I'm not gonna make it up.
The last
Does
people
anybody
left
know?
The last people left at 7:30. Samantha left at 9:30, according to her,
On Wednesday?
on Wednesday night.
And
Yeah.
the results were posted after 9 PM, right?
I don't remember.
I remember because I took a picture and texted it, and I have it in my notes.
Okay,
Okay, excuse me.
so let's go back to this, please.
Yes. What we have found in the ballot box is a number of clasped without any tally sheets, clasped with tally sheets, unclasped with tally sheets, unclasped without, tally sheets without any ballots attached. Okay, this is what we found. What I'm gonna do is Bob and I are going to count. I have labeled each one A, B, C, D. We will count each packet as it came out of the ballot box. Keep a running tally of how many ballots there are. It's the best we can do at this point.
Can you say what's the procedure normally? What would you expect? Would you expect a packet with a tally sheet and a packet with a tally sheet?
Found it all different ways.
Count all the, thank you.
Sorry.
Yep.
And,
Aren't the tally sheets usually wrapped around the ballots in packs of 50? So
It
we
can be.
used to do it when,
Well, that's state code, that's what they should be.
yeah, I mean, that was,
I'm
I
sorry,
remember
I didn't
watching your,
Didn't
you know,
realize
over
that.
the years.
Let's let David speak, please, he's the expert.
I've seen it a lot of different ways. I don't believe there is any code. There is a preferred method, which is to have 50 ballots in each packet and have tally sheets with 50 marks on them wrapped around. But that, I don't believe is code.
It is code.
This is gonna be quite a long process. You're welcome to stay here, look at it online, leave anytime you want, but please keep the voices down.